Ba-do-ba-do. I believe I'm live. So the crack is with everybody. So, yep, welcome. It's week, God knows what it is. I know it's was week 29, but now it's basically MLS fixture list, basically. Uh, anyway, I'll carry on. Welcome, MLS predictions, Ireland, Sean, whatever. These are my predictions. If you're new to this, hit that wee follow button. This is going to be on Twitch. It's going to be uploaded on the YouTube later on. And if, again, you're new to this, hit that wee subscribe button. These are my predictions. There is only 4 games on this weekend. It's not bad. I know there's an international break where I think 3 or 4 players out of Seattle will be missing. Again, basically for quite a few teams, there are going to be a lot of players kind of missing. So it doesn't really make sense to be playing games during an international break. But this is MLS, and well, no, really, no, this is MLS. So there's 4 games. The first game is New York Red Bulls against Inter Miami. Now, I didn't even get up my stats. I didn't even get up my stats there. Anyway, so yeah, it's going to be New York Red Bulls against what the hell? Go away, advertisements. New York Red Bulls against Inter Miami. Now, in the last 4 games, New York Red Bulls haven't even won a game, so that's not really good. Inter Miami actually have in the last 4 have actually won 2, but then lost 2. So again, coming into this one, 2 teams kind of on like a similar kind of trajectory at this in time, and that's a very big word for me to say. I'm surprised I even said it. If anybody's watching this, hello, salut, or the ditch. Uh, where is New York Bulls? They're actually 17th. Inter Miami is 21st. Not too bad when you think about it. I'm not 100% sure. New York Red Bull possibly can make the playoffs if they win this game. They're 6 points off, 6 points off, basically fifth of their rivals across the way or playing in their own stadium. One of the two. It's hard to know. I know. I think the Yankees got put out, so basically they're basically going to be playing at home now for the rest of the season. I believe. Is that correct? I can't remember. So New York Red Bulls at home against Inter Miami. Do you know what? Inter Miami actually could probably shock you in this one. I know they've lost their last 4 in all together, home and away. You know what I mean? And New York Red Bulls beat Cincinnati 1-0 away from home last week. I know it's Cincinnati, but then they drew against Philadelphia and then beat New York Red Bulls away from home. So the last 2 home games was a draw. The last 3 home games was actually a draw. So saying that, this is going to be a trickier one. Would I stare and say just go for like a possible 1-1 draw? These 2 teams are capable of scoring. Well, New York Red Bull maybe is not as much, but Inter Miami are good at not winning many games. So I'll go with that. I'll go for like a 1-1 draw in this one. Like Inter Miami's won 9 games all season and they've lost their last 4. And that was against Portland, Atlanta away from home, and then got beaten at home against Nashville and New York Red Bulls 4-0. But I'll go for like a wee 4-1, a 1-1 draw. Seeing that it is a bit of a strange setup, but I'll go for like a 1-1 draw on that one. The next one is actually Cincinnati now against Philadelphia. Cincinnati, who are bottom of the league, and the last win was against Toronto, and that was about a month ago. This is an interesting one. Philadelphia should win this one, but Philadelphia's away record this season has been atrocious. They've won 2 games. In the last 4, they actually haven't won any. They drew 2 and lost 2, whereas Cincinnati have actually won 1 game away from home. At home, sorry. So yeah, not looking good. And that game was against Toronto, and that was their first win at home. Now they're coming up against a Philadelphia team who you would suspect last season would have probably won this one quite comfortably. But this season they've been shocking altogether. They've won out of the last 4. They beat Orlando 3-1 convincingly. Then they can beat Atlanta 1-0. Then they drew against New York Red Bulls. That was away from one. Then they beat Columbus Crew 3-0. So saying that, this game could be a good one. I'll go for like a 2-0 win to Philadelphia. I think Philadelphia should possibly get into the playoffs this season. Whereabouts are they? Oh no, they're third. I think they should. I think they may be all right. Saying that, So yeah, I'll go for like a 2-0 win in that one, just for the fact that Philadelphia are better, but their away record this season has been shocking, shocking. The next one is Seattle against Vancouver. Now, like I said at the start of the program, they're without a lot of players this week. Coming against a Vancouver team who can shock a lot of teams. They're like whereabouts are Vancouver is our 16th overall. They've won their last game there. That was against San Jose Earthquakes. They drew then against Houston, so they're. But then again, they beat Dallas away at home, and then they drew with Colorado Rapids, which isn't a bad result. They're coming up against the Seattle team. Do you know what? I think Vancouver could probably give a good run at this one. What was their last what was their last scores when when the time they played each other last? I think that's what I was trying to say. Seattle. Uh, Seattle. Did they actually play? They're bound to have played. 2-2 was the last time Seattle played at home against Vancouver, and now it's going to be another home game. I'll go for like a 2-1 win to Seattle. I know Vancouver are actually starting to play a lot better in the last probably 12, I think. They've only lost the one game, and that was against Portland at home. So they're not doing actually too bad. They're capable of probably winning this one, but I'll go for like a Seattle 2-1 win on that one. And now the last one is Minnesota against Colorado Rapids. What is the form? Not too bad. Colorado Rapids actually have a good wee way record at the moment. Minnesota have won their last two at home. So saying that, where is it? Yep, that was against LA Galaxy 3-0 and Houston Dynamo 2-0, but then they got beat by DC United and drew Dallas away from home. So they're coming against the Colorado Rapids, who are fourth overall. Lost their last game against Seattle, beat when they were at home, Austin 3-0, and then they kind of drew the last four. So it's not looking all great for them, but they are coming up against Minnesota. Actually, you know what? I'll go for like a 2-1 win to Minnesota at home. I know Colorado Rapids. They're not doing all that great in the last four there, in the last eight. So I'll go for like a 2-1 win to Minnesota. I'd like to see them actually get into the playoffs this season. How are they doing? They're seventh. I think they're capable of getting into it. They're a point behind Real Salt Lake in fifth, so that would be an interesting one. I don't think there's many games now of the season left. The season's up on the 7th, so that's less than a month away. So, yeah, those are the predictions for this week's. Anybody got any questions, anything to put in? No, I doubt it. I think there's only one person watching it, and that's probably me. Possibly. If anybody's asking, no, nobody's asking. Anyway, those are my predictions. As I said, if you're new to this, hit that wee subscribe button. Doug, thanks. Thank you, Doug, for watching. What's the crack? No crack these days. We're getting near the end of the season, which is kind of a shame. But I can't wait to. What was the Phillies prediction? I predicted. Where was it again? I think I predicted 2-0 to Philadelphia. They're just a far better team than Cincinnati. Cincinnati haven't really done all that great this past while. I know Philadelphia have a shocking. I'm in New Jersey. Well, South Jersey beside Philly. Not near Cherry Hill, no. Nowhere near Cherry Hill. Is it Cherry Hill? That's the rough place, isn't it? But I heard they got fixed up. So yeah, I like to see Philadelphia do well, but they've only won 2 games away from home this season, which is not great. So, and even in their last four, they even have one. Jesus, Philadelphia are doing pretty poor away from home. It's kind of sad to see. I did like them to do them. No, thank you. I'm in Georgia Shore. Oh, very nice. Lovely weather today, I would assume. It's actually not too bad here. I can see a bit of blue in the sky, so that means it's going to be a good day. It's not going to be raining as much. So yeah, it's going to be a bit. It's going to be interesting to see. I wonder who's going to make it basically into the playoffs that are not kind of out of it. I struggle to see when they pull it. Nice. I struggle to see LAFC could probably make it. They're 4 points off Minnesota in seventh. Can actually make it. I don't think their record coming into this one now is going to actually probably do them any well. Who do they got? They got San Jose Earthquakes and Dallas and Minnesota Seattle, which is probably a trickier one. Colorado Rapids away from home. Minnesota probably away from home is going to be a trickier one too. LAFC could actually probably make it into the playoffs if they didn't sell their best players. Who else could possibly make it in? Where am I? Where am I? Where am I? Dallas can't. No, not a chance in hell. New York Red Bull could probably make it in. Columbus Crew could possibly make it in. Inter actually could probably make it in. Inter Miami. That would be interesting to see. Didn't they make it in last season for a knockout game? Nashville. Nashville definitely got in. Nashville are second. It's pretty. It's pretty. Then again, they could if they lose their next games, they could actually be out of it. They're not comfortable up there. I know they're a few points ahead of Philadelphia, but their next games are DC United away from home, Columbus Crew, Philadelphia away from home, Cincinnati, Orlando, and then New York Red Bulls. I just think with Nashville's probably a away record, they're probably going to be okay with this one. I do think it's nice to see them in. They're actually showing you that they don't need an extravagant player to really basically start succeeding in the MLS. They just bought sound players from the MLS, like in Zimmerman, and kind of basically built from there and built a good defense. And that's possibly what you need. And I don't think Cincinnati kind of went for that. They went for a brand new stadium and basically went, we'll get a good player and we'll get a couple of good strikers in. We'll get a known player to be a manager and all that kind of stuff. And then kind of went from there and kind of didn't do too great. Same as kind of Inter Miami. They basically built the team on to bring in fans rather than to probably succeed, which is probably not a good idea, but they really do need to sort out that defense and probably sort out that management, if that makes any sense. But I would like to see Inter Miami do okay this season, but they've lost their last four, and actually they actually did do well there for the last couple of games, but then they could beat easily, quite convincingly by a lot of people there against Nashville 5-1. Not good. So I am looking forward to this last 5 games of the week, 5 weeks anyway left. So I think there's 6 in total weeks left. 7 perhaps. I did not live in the States. Never lived in the States in my life. I have friends live in Philadelphia area near Phoenixville. Um, Visit there twice a year before the pandemic, and basically then got stuck here for a while. But now Philadelphia is quite nice around Valley Forge and all that kind of stuff. It's a nice wee place to walk around. King of Prussia, the big mall. It's huge. But no, never lived in the States now. I don't think I could probably work with their work mentality. I like my weekends off. And I like having 4 weeks off it when I choose. It's nice to get a full nice week off when you're just and get paid and have healthcare. Nice too. Ireland will be playing soon too, so I'm looking forward to that. Portland are on a very good run at the moment, which is quite scary. I blame Eric for that, basically. Yeah, the last game was a 2-all draw against Portland, against Colorado, Dejan. So yeah, they're doing very, very well. They beat Inter Miami, beat LAFC, beat Real Salt Lake 6-1. So they're actually a good contender. They actually win the whole bloody MLS Cup. They got to the final last season. They're sixth overall. They're coming into this with a good wee record. Seattle coming into this with a good wee record, but Portland are a great wee bet. Actually, What are the odds for them to win? Shake camera. Let's see. I think New England are basically to our favourites to win this one, the MLS Cup, but I don't see them winning it. That makes any sense. They're a good team, but I think they're a good league team. They're not good. They're not going to be a good knockout team. I think they kind of need the security of knowing that they can probably slip up in one or two. So yeah, New England are the favourites. Portland, where are they? They're 14-1. They actually won this one. I think Colorado Rapids actually have a better record, better odds to win this one. Nashville have a better odds. So yeah, probably a good wee bet to put Portland on to win this. They probably could make the final if they could probably get past Seattle, which they have before. So it's probably against probably will be Seattle or Portland in the final against a New England or Philadelphia. If Nashville could probably do like a Stoke City or something, kind of win their games by a set piece or just basically winning them by defending. So they could probably get to. There's actually going to be an interesting knockout stages this season. New York City, I don't see getting to it at all. Each game not. Yeah, Nashville will be an interesting one too. Montreal, I don't see it. LA Galaxy, I definitely don't see it. Yeah, basically DC United, Atlanta, no, Orlando, no. So Portland Timbers basically up. Should be probably the interesting ones. Could be a Portland. Do you know what? I'm going to go for a Portland. I'm going to go for a Portland Philadelphia final. I think Portland. I mean, I think Philadelphia desperately need that home field advantage. They may get it unless on New England going for a good wee record and winning the whole bloody thing. But I think Philadelphia could possibly get to the final if they sort out their away game. If they could do that coming up to the last games of the season, then they're in for a shoe-in. Sporting Kansas City always are the Sporting Kansas City are kind of like the Belgium of football. They basically let you down kind of near the semi-finals. Seattle are capable of getting to the final, but I don't think they have the players to basically. Well, they do have the players. The players have done it before, but I don't think this season they're going to be up for it. I think the season's going to be basically ruined by them going on the international break and all that kind of stuff. Because when you remember the last two times when their good players kind of went on international leave, they kind of lost the next two games after that. And I do know that the next games in the MLS Cup will be right after the international break. So I think Seattle may struggle in that one if they get a game. And I do think they will probably be playing. Who will they be playing? According to this, I keep going the wrong bloody way. They'll probably be playing a Vancouver or Minnesota. So a Minnesota could be a trickier one. LA Galaxy could be a tricky one for Seattle. So yeah. Anyway, I shall leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you on the next one, Doug. And basically, kudos. Bye now.